A very warm welcome, everybody, to our post-race press conference after the FIA Formula One Belgian Grand Prix. In third place, Max Verstappen. In second place, Charles Leclerc. And taking his sixth win of 2026, our winner, Kimi Antonelli. Many congratulations, Kimi. Another very impressive victory for you. What aspects of this afternoon pleased you the most?
I mean, it was a hard-fought race. Pace was a lot higher than practice, and it was not easy because Max in the first inning was keeping up, and then obviously Charles had great pace as well on the hards. So it was not easy because also so much deployment difference between all teams. And as well, you know, we were strong in certain part of the track, but then weak in others. So definitely was not straightforward, but I'm very happy with it. And
it's another race in which you missed out on the VSC. What were you thinking at that moment?
You know, obviously, I was a bit annoyed, but you know, you can't predict these things, and sometimes it goes your way, other times it doesn't. You know, in Suzuka I was very lucky with it, with the safety car, with the timing, and today it wasn't. You know, like on that side it wasn't on my side, but it's how it goes, and so that's why. Despite everything, you just try to make the best out of it and just try to maximize the result.
Can we discuss some pretty close battles you had today? Starting actually on lap one with Max going down the hill to Eau Rouge. Could we get your side?
It was crazy. To be fair, I was so confused of what was happening because Max came fly past me before Eau Rouge. And then I passed him back, but then I saw Charles that almost came alongside me. And I was like, what the heck is happening, you know? Like, I had no clue. I was just trying to hold a position on track, and I was looking in my mirror the whole time because I just saw so many cars coming. Yeah, it was a crazy start, but luckily we got away cleanly.
And what about that battle with Charles at the end? Were you surprised by Ferrari's pace today?
I mean, they were good in FP as well. Their long run didn't look bad at all. So we knew they would have been good. And today it was just the confirmation that they were there, and they were very strong in 12-13. Compared to us, was struggling a little bit with the rear there, but then on the other hand, we were very strong in the low speed corners. So it was. That's why it was not easy, especially to keep up in the sector 2. But yeah, definitely we expected them to be quick today.
Final one from me. Hungary is up next. A very different racetrack to here at Spa-Francorchamps. Just give us a little sneak preview as to how you think your car will perform there.
Yes, it's gonna be. I think all top 4 teams will be close because obviously you have no battery issues. I think you can deployment is gonna be very healthy. So it's gonna be another track where it's maybe a bit more like Monaco, where you just try to drive as fast as you can. And so it's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna be very tight between all of us, and that's why it's gonna be important to try to put things together.
All right, very well done today. Thank you for that. Kimi, Charles, let's come to you now. We've just had Kimi's analysis of Ferrari's pace. Just how close did you think you were to him today?
Well, again, on Thursday, I think we kind of expected to be very far back. Maybe to the extent of 4 tenths, 5 tenths. And in qualifying, that was true, but in the race we were a bit closer than what we thought. So no, it's been positive. I think on two tracks which on paper were quite bad for us, we won and we finished second with a little bit of luck, but still I think it was a good effort for the team on two tracks that didn't fit our car particularly well to be scoring good points.
So how much confidence do you take from these last two races? I mean, you said after the win at Silverstone, I'm taking it one race at a time. Given what's happened here at Spa, do you think you've cracked it? Do you think you've now got the car where you want it and you can be quick everywhere?
I'm confident to say that I did a step forward. Whether it's just I'm at the level where I want to perform, not yet, no. There are still things in the car that I need to drive around that I cannot drive completely naturally, and that is slowing me down in some parts of the race. So there are still things that I've got to work on in order to be better, but surely it was a step forward, and for that I'm happy, but I'll continue with the one race at a time approach, because with these cars it's very difficult to be confident that if a one race weekend goes well, the other one will, because it relies on such small details, and what you do with driving, it's never a given that you get the same deployment from one lap to the other, and that's the frustrating bit maybe of these cars.
There was lots of good wheel-to-wheel racing today. Kimi talked about lap 1. Can I ask you about lap 8? It got pretty close with you and Oscar Piastri. Just your version, please.
Well, I would prefer to speak about lap 1, to be honest, but lap 8 was too close, but luckily it didn't have any incidents on either my race or his race, so that's good.
Final one from me, Hungary. A lot of people think Ferrari could be very, very strong there. What's your take?
We could be, but we could also not be, and we'll never know until we go there. I think it's very difficult again to predict the level of performances of every team. I recall very well what was the overall feeling before Monaco, and we arrived in Monaco and we weren't the favorites that everybody thought we would. So yeah, I think we need to be cautious. We just need to do our homework, just like we do on every different tracks. I think what we did particularly well on those last two weekends is to really make sure that we maximize our package, and that's the mentality that we should keep for Budapest, not thinking about expectations.
Okay, Charles, thank you very much for that. Max, if we could come to you now. Now, coming into this weekend, you weren't sure how quick the car would be here at Spa-Francorchamps. Was it better than expected today?
Yeah, probably. I mean, but I think overall the weekend for us was quite straightforward. The car was straight away in a decent window, so I think that just helps a lot. And I mean, to be honest, today, we got a little bit unlucky with the VSC, but I could have potentially maybe fought with Charles. But the second stint was just a little bit worse than I hoped for, I guess. The balance is not where I wanted it to be for a long time of that stint, so just lost too much time in the first half of that stint. But for us, I think to be on the podium here has been a good result.
Can we just ask you about lap 1 as well? We got Kimi's version of events. How was it for you going down to Eau Rouge?
Well, clearly too much deployment from turn 1 to turn 2, and then I went through Eau Rouge. I looked at my battery status, I was like, well, that's going to be a difficult run to Leclerc. I expect, of course, Kimi to come by. And then I look in my mirror and I just saw a red rocket coming. I was like, well, I'll just hold my line, because if I move here, we're going to have an airplane shunt. So, it was pretty incredible, the differences. Yeah.
All right. Final one from me, Max. Just your thoughts on Hungary as well. What have you learned this weekend? Do you think the car will be good there?
I don't know. It's impossible to know at the moment. I just hope for a straightforward weekend. That will help a lot to be competitive or not.
All right, Max, thank you for that. Let's now open this to the floor. Name and publication, please. First one.
Valhornji, the race. Congratulations to all three. Question to all three, but primarily to Kimi. Kimi, George and Toto have been speaking this weekend about a loss of deployment in various parts of the track that they can't explain through his driving, that they can't explain through any sort of battery wear or anything like that, that just may be something that happens in the algorithm somewhere. question to everybody is, have you had that this season? I think, Charles, you just referenced, doing the same thing every lap and getting a completely different result in terms of deployment. Is that kind of a similar type of thing?
Yeah, it can happen. I mean, being honest, with George this weekend there was a slight loss, and sometimes just don't understand. I had the same in Australia, for example, where it can be a little bit of driving. Sometimes the system just does something a little bit different, so it's very complicated. And for the team, you gotta appreciate the work because the system is just very complicated. Of course, they're trying to make things a bit easier, but sometimes it's hard to get it perfect. So also the driving, sometimes, especially in these kind of tracks that are very energy demanding, if you start driving differently, then also for the system is a bit crazy. So it's tricky. It's tricky and. Bless you. But I have to agree that this weekend for George there was a slight issue. But I'm sure for Budapest it will be fixed.
Well, I don't know what was the issue of George, obviously. So, but the only thing I can say is that it happens, and these Spa units are so complex that. There are some days where you scratch your head on understanding why are you losing so much in the straights, and that was a bit the case for me on Friday and in FP3, and then in qualifying things went well again by slightly fine-tuning things, and it's just very difficult but also very frustrating sometimes for a driver, because even when you are doing your best there are things in the background that changes constantly, and that's not so nice.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to F1 26. Sometimes it can be a jungle.
Next one, please. Thank you.
James Phillips, Motorsport Monday. Question for Max, please. You were able to keep in touch with Kimi in the early stages of the race. Just keen to get your thoughts on how the new rear wing performed. And secondly, going into Hungary, do you think the less reliance on battery power will have a major impact on the racing, please? Thank you.
Yeah, you mean old rear wing? It performed well. I mean, kept it on the road. I think the first stint, was just a little bit more competitive. The balance is a little bit better, but just struggled more on the hard. As simple as that. And I honestly, of course, it's nice to be, let's say, less starved in Hungary, but I don't know if that's good or bad, because at the end of the day, there are a lot of corners and you need good cornering performance with the car, which is impossible to know how good we are going to be.
Thank you, Max. Next one.
Luke Smith from The Athletic. Kimi, one for you. With George's GNF today, obviously it's given you a big points buffer to him at the top of the World Championship, but perhaps more significantly that your recent form, the edge you seem to have on him. Is that giving you more confidence in this title fight rather than the mathematics involved right now?
I mean, the momentum has always been there, despite what happened in the previous races, and that's why I just need to take one weekend at a time, because you never know what can happen. So just need to maximize every time the performance, and and just try to do your best every time you go in the car, and then you see what's the balance at the end of the year. But with these new cars, new regs, there's so much going on and so much unpredictable as well, things that can happen. So that's why I just need to focus race by race, and then you'll see at the end of the year.
Thank you for that. Next.
Leonid Kluv, Grande Premio. Question for Max. At one point, GP said to you that the tires are cold, and you said that's not a problem. That it's about the grip. Also, you said that you trust people looking at laptops. How different are your feelings in the cockpit from what the data tells the team? And in general, are you happy about their feedback during races?
Well, all the things that you mentioned, they were not related to each other. So tires were cold. Looking at the laptop was about other stuff. So I just like to keep people on their toes. I know that everyone is doing their best, but we are in F1, so we have to keep being sharp at every time in the race, and I was demand the most and the best, because that's also what they expect from me.
Thank you, Max. Next.
Jack Smith, Motorsport Monday. Kimi, congratulations. If we look back to this race last year, it was a really difficult one for you, and it maybe was the race where you sort of reached the peak of the sort of criticism that you were getting from sort of outside. Looking at where you are today, could you have imagined that this is where you would be just 12 months on?
No, absolutely not. And I mean, last year here was I probably reached the bottom. So it was a very difficult weekend for me mentally. But it was good this year. Definitely a lot better. But definitely didn't expect. If you would have asked me last year at this moment, I probably would have said no.
Thank you. Any more? If there are no more, we will leave it there, gentlemen.